I have one of these water filters, which looks great on the counter, and it's supposed to have a plastic insert inside that you fill with the filter in it, and then it drains through into the bottom of this section. However, some time ago the plastic insert part split, so we just have been using it to put water in. We have a lovely little rainwater tank off the roof. The water's beautiful, except it does have debris in it, bits of leaves and just dirt and dust off the roof at different times in the year. So we were filling buckets and then pouring them into that dispenser on the bench, but sometimes the water wasn't really clean, as in visually clean. So I wanted something to clear out any particulate matter and dirt. I watched various YouTubes, and if I go back through my history and I find some of the most useful ones, I'll link them in the description box. So I purchased 2 of these 20 litre food grade buckets from the nearest big box store. You can though get, if you have contacts in the catering industry or someone that owns a cafe or restaurant, you may be able to get these buckets second hand that are food grade if they've had food ingredients delivered to the restaurant. And then in this top bucket, I drilled a hole and I offset the hole, as in one of the videos I saw the guy actually had 2 filters in to make it filter quicker. So I only had 1 filter, but I thought I'll leave space to put a second filter if I decide to do that. So I've offset the filter. But if you think you're only going to need 1, you can just drill a hole in the middle. The hole is about a 1/2 inch, I think. So the filter I got on eBay, and in a minute I'll show you the box. So you can, it's sort of like a ceramic dome basically that filters the water. And it goes through to that. There's a nut that screws on and a silicone washer. Now, when we put the water in the top one, to support the weight of it, the lid stays on the bottom bucket. And I cut a hole that this nut and spout would fit through easily without having to jiggle around too much. So then the filtered water ends up in the bottom bucket, and we can then tip that into the benchtop ceramic thing that's a bit more visually attractive. However, if you're happy to have this sort of arrangement in your kitchen, that works fine too. And one of the good things I thought about this is, without the lid on there, it would actually nest together and be storable. So if you have a good town water supply, or you're not worried about filtering water, but you may be in an emergency situation, think that you want to filter water if you have to get water from a creek or somewhere else where it's not going to be so clean, this could be stored in the cupboard and just got out when there is an emergency situation, or easily transported with you. Say if you were going camping and you knew you were going to be getting water out of a stream or something, you could take this camping. You could even fit other things in there as long as you wrap up that ceramic filter, because it's quite delicate, so you could store some soft stuff in the top, and take it camping with you to make a little water filter. And then if you're concerned about things having done their business in the water supply, or the possibility of dead animals in the water supply, especially if it's in a dry time of the year when the creek isn't being flushed, you could then boil this water that you filter in the bottom, so it will be clean and sterilised. Or you may have another way of sterilising your water. Anyway, hope that's useful to some people. Bye.